you just tell us the role of Communications Authority and where the Universal Service Fund falls?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think most of us are aware, of course, that Communications Authority of Kenya is the regulator for the ICT sector. Part of its responsibilities as provided for in law is to ensure that there are communication services provided across the country, in the sense that every Kenyan is able to communicate for a variety of reasons. So from a regulatory perspective, of course, we do that through, licensing and regulating players in the field.
Right. So USF, where does USF fall in all this?
Yes, so that's a good question. Now, with all the efforts that are being put in place in terms of regulating the industry for purposes of expanding communication services throughout the country, and considering the mechanisms that are being used, which is basically the rollout obligations for services and networks, what is appreciated is that those efforts are often insufficient, in the sense that we are dealing with businesses. We are dealing with operators that are running on the basis of profitability. But in certain circumstances, there are some areas that do not make business sense to some of these operators. And there is only an extent to which you can go in terms of pushing them to those particular areas to provide connectivity. But the challenge usually is the return on investment on their part. They do contribute, yes, there are areas that they are running networks and providing services without getting any profit. In fact, maybe sometimes they subsidize these, but that is not sufficient to ensure that there is coverage throughout the country. Mm-hmm. And that is the space for the Universal Service Fund. And the fund is basically just to incentivize them further by providing them some subsidies that then will bridge the gap between the cost of providing services and the return on investment arising from the operations in those particular areas. Mm-hmm.